Good afternoon to another episode of the Desktop Confessional, Friday edition. I'll just call it that. So today is the first week where students are allowed to wear college gear, spirit wear, that kind of thing. And apparently they've changed the policies now that this year to you actually have to earn the right to wear college gear or spirit wear on Fridays by the entire grade level not having a single dress code violation for the whole week. So in this case, only the 8th grade were allowed to wear spirit wear or a college shirt or something like that. And so, of course, in fitting fashion, I decided I'm going to pull out my old, college, my player-sized replica version of my women's college jersey from USC, because it's college related and hockey, and what else do I have to look forward to until I'm out of this place? And so today's Friday, and I have hockey at 7:45 p.m. tonight at Toyota Sports Center. So if anybody wants to come in and watch, it's there, and it's actually one of the few things that I can look forward to today. So this is just a continuation over what I was discussing yesterday about, not feeling like you deserve an award, or ill-timed emails, or and any other things that are going on. And so the chaos then continued on, and I game in today, and since today's Friday and I have an early game and I have to be in El Segundo for a couple other things before I go to my game at 7:45, I decided to take the car today. So I'm in my car, and just as a little bit of a review here. So if I'm referring to the SOAR award from yesterday, it's this abstract 7th grade reject project that is now given week to week from teacher to teacher for some sort of exemplary accomplishment that was done. The difference with mine is my exemplary accomplishment was accompanied by an email mentioning everything I did wrong that same day that I received the award for the same reason. So just to let you know, I have this. The perks of getting something like this is that I'm supposed to get a parking space that is designated in the front, which, having a motorcycle, it's not a big deal because I parked somewhere else on my motorcycle. So, for the first day, and also because of a fire drill where everyone had to evacuate into the parking lot, I took a precaution. I didn't want students touching my bike, so I parked it in my normal spot, which is slid right next to the gate, and it prevents kids from climbing, jumping, drawing, penises on my dusty tank, whatever. And so, that space was intentionally left empty because I was supposed to have used it. I have the ability to use this space until next Wednesday, when then I take this, art project reject and pass it on to another teacher who deserves it and probably won't get written up. And so I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to take my car. I'm going to leave early anyway because I want to go and rack overtime for no apparent reason. And so I jump in my car. I get to school at about 7. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to park in my parking space. And as soon as I get there, there's already another car sitting in the parking space that was specifically set for the person who won this award. And I'm looking at this going, are you kidding me? I mean, there's a lot of other things I said, including, are you kidding me? But I'm trying to keep my inappropriate language to a minimum here, just in case I get hurt out here, which I'm at lunch, by the way, off the clock. Don't bother me. But of course, that's not going to change much. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm just slightly irked right now, slightly disappointed, because it's just, even though the whole concept of having that space taken is unrelated to everything else going on, it just seems to build on this whole idea that I cannot celebrate any of my accomplishments because they're always going to be, minuscule. They're not going to be recognized. And even though they're important to the vital, operations of the school, it's just doing my job. So, my spot was taken, and it was very difficult. The good news was, as I got there so early that there were other spaces. So in ironic fashion, I parked near the stall that I normally place my bike, the half stall where I put my bike because I'm courteous and, excuse me, and I want to try to help because we're really low on space. Excuse me. So that all happens, right? That all happens. And so then I walk in, and I go and I talk to my colleague and vent about the fact that I got jacked in a parking space, that like the one time I actually needed to bring my car, the one time that people realize I actually do own a car, because I try to keep that a secret. On a side note, I celebrated 2 years with Uber, which was kind of fun last night, and I ended up driving all the way down to Huntington Beach and back. So anyway, besides the point. So I get in, the bell rings, we're getting ready for stuff. There's a meeting that I was supposed to go to just to make sure things were going on. And then I get a couple teachers asking me questions of, hey, there's this PowerPoint we're supposed to show in advisory today, and just wondering where that PowerPoint is. So of course I'm like completely clueless to the whole thing, and it's a PowerPoint in regards to it's a PowerPoint in regards to this reading program that I'm still waiting for approval on rosters to send to the tech support. It's Light Sail, and I am logging all of this, by the way. I sent a approval, or a pending draft approval, back on the 16th. It's the 18th, and I'm supposed to have a PowerPoint ready today. And I found out where this agenda was located. It was this 2-week framework agenda that was created by the administration that was sent to all the teachers, but it wasn't sent to me. So supposedly I have to be a psychic and know that there has to be a PowerPoint presentation that has to be done. And I find out about this morning. So of course that adds and builds up on the additional frustrations that I already have, because it's only perpetuating the lack of communication that I received here, that is only causing me to want to, get the bleep out of here. So that's really upsetting. I pull over one of my assistant principals, the one I actually talked to, that I can talk to in a trusting manner, and I go, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to get in trouble for this, and I'm kind of panicking. So she goes, talks to my coach. I'm going to continue using the quotation marks, because really, like, he has not earned his respect with me, to be honest with you. And, and she had mentioned that I had no idea that I was supposed to even give a presentation. So this is definitely going to be an item of discussion, because once again, as it had been discussed, I need to be included in any technological or any sort of implementation of presentations of the whatnot. So that was really difficult. And so, I'm already heated. I got screwed over for a parking space. I was supposed to deliver a presentation that I didn't even know existed. And then to make things even more fun is, later on, I'm getting reports from the front office about the wireless not working outside, so I have to go and check that. Now, that is another story. We have a program that we have to use where the students have to enter their codes because of free lunch program, to make sure that all of them are taking advantage of the free lunch, and also because it helps with our numbers and funding and all this other stuff. And so for the week, it hasn't been working. And one of my office assistants was reporting that it was a wireless connection issue, which then there was a little bit more miscommunication about that. It turned out it was an issue with the website itself. And the network and the connection wasn't really part of the problem. Anyway, long story short, I had to go and find cables that worked, that I could plug in a laptop physically into a network jack that was outside. I find out that I found a cable that barely made barely had the length to make it from a table to that network jack. In addition to that, I did find 2 other longer cables that were well over 400 feet long. However, the network ends were bad, so that didn't work. And then I find out that within this network jack of 2 ports, one of the jacks didn't work anyway, regardless of what kind of cable. So I just discovered a whole bunch of problems. And I had to ask at least 2 or 3 people, hey, do you know about these cables, these long cables that you guys used to use in the past? When I found out that computers, instead of using the Wi-Fi, used to be physically plugged into these ports, which it is what it is. So I find out where they are, and then I go into the custodian's room, or the custodian closet, where my facilities manager keeps all the stuff. And I find a collection of cables and tools and supplies that I didn't even realize existed in my entire year and a half here on campus. Because apparently it wasn't important for me to know that we actually had a box of brand new 10 and 15 foot Cat5 patch cables, in addition to long cables that used to be used for the purpose that I was trying to find an answer to. Right. So there's that. And to make it even more fun is I decided really quickly to have another laptop ready so that they could test the connections. And the office staff just chooses not to use it, so I'm not going to get an answer as to whether or not connections really were bad. I'm up a creek here, so I'm like, okay, things are going to work, things are not going to work, they're going to continue to bitch, there's going to be a problem. I'm coming to the point where it's no longer going to become my problem. I made it to my babysitting time with eighth grade nutrition, and actually there was a point somewhere in between bites of French toast where a student handed me their package of French toast because they didn't want to eat it, and she went, "Miss M, I don't eat this, so please have it," and I did. And I started taking a few bites, and I almost broke down in tears in front of all the kids. And I just tried to pull through until the bell rang, and then I came back in here and locked the door, put a sign on the outside of the door, locked the door, turned off the lights, and hid under the table for about 15 minutes. And even though I had the urge to cry in front of the kids and break down, and I was completely despondent when responding to the same assistant principal earlier. I just told her, there's a lot of things that I'm having issues with, and I really can't talk about them right now, and I just walked off. I am unable to cry right now. I think I'm probably going to cry later today if I end up getting pulled in because of the way that I was coming across to my assistant principal, which personally I only want to talk to her, not my coach. He has proven multiple times that he's a very emotionless person, and I need someone with empathy. Actually, I have needed empathy for a long time. I've needed empathy for a long time. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting communication. I'm not getting help. And there's just a lot of things I'm not getting. So I'll let you know what I'm doing next week in terms of combating this problem. But, continuing on with my notes here, one of the things that I actually learned so far, that was my coach. That was my coach. And I was able to tell him I was at lunch. But one thing that I learned so far is that when you turn off the lights and you hide under the desk, you can't trip the motion sensor. You can't trip it. I'm fed up with miscommunication. There's just a lot of things that I can't do anymore, and I'm coming to a point where I need the help. And in addition to that, as part of a means of trying to prioritize my work, I was given a task list. It's a shared Google document. I have, in the last several days, I've doubled that task list, listing everything I completed along with the tasks that were given to me. So, yeah, I can't even. And I'm gonna continue messaging and emailing my thoughts and frustrations, and I'm gonna be as polite as possible. But it's going to implode really quickly. It's going to implode, and I don't know how it's going to implode. I feel like I have no control. I feel like I am running. I have no allies at the administration level where I'm supposed to be working. I just feel that really they expect a lot from me, but I'm not going to get the support no matter how many times they try to say it. So with that being said, I am taking a day off next week on Thursday, and I was just offered the opportunity to test for a position at Fullerton School District for an instructional technician. And I am going to take the test on Thursday morning and hopefully take the day off afterwards. It'll be the first day off that I've been able to take in over a month, if not more. My goal after I take my exam, no matter how well I do or how shitty I do, is that I am going to make sure that I'll be able to go fishing without having to answer an email. I'm going to go fishing without having to deal with drama and people wondering what I'm doing and asking why I'm out, and then me having to provide justification for why I'm out, because all I wrote under my explanation was personal day, which could mean 75 different things. And that's all they're going to get from me. But I'm hoping that if I do well in this test, I could have a shot at an interview. That currently is the only lead I have. But, I have been consistently applying to other places and just trying to find ways out. I think that hiding under the table for 15 minutes helped. I didn't implode, or at least I was able to delay breaking down and crying for a little bit longer. I don't know if I'm going to make it through the rest of the day without crying severely. But I'm just trying to get by. So I don't know what time my mandatory lunch ends here, which it's mandatory because it's federal law. But let me check because I'm not sure. Let me see what I can do here. I actually don't even remember what time I was supposed to have gone on my break. I think it's 1:09 that I gotta go back, or something like that. They'll tell me eventually. My phone will scream at me somehow. I just don't know when. The more I sit here and stare at this stupid award, the more I want to just throw it out the window, but I know that it has to survive till the end of the year. I'm going to let someone else destroy it. But at least, I have an office because, when you close the door, no one can hear you cry. If you've been hearing me coughing, this is the residual of what affected me more than a month ago. It's actually almost gone, but I still have a residual cough, so it makes it difficult for me to talk for periods of time without having to clear my throat. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been in a job that's been this miserable. I haven't gotten out of it yet. And I did send an email out, though, before I went out to lunch, introducing a ticket/Google Form system so that my jobs can be prioritized. So I'm hoping that's going to help a lot, but I only did it because someone else told me to. So it is what it is. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm looking forward to getting out of here. I think the plan is I have these Metrolink tickets that I need to use, so I think I'm going to head down to Oceanside tomorrow. And then there's a little party at that my roommate is holding on Sunday at the Scum and Villainy Cantina in Hollywood. And I was invited to go, so I'm going to go. And, since my hockey team, my Friday night house league team is called the Dark Side and has a picture of Darth Vader, a really cute Darth Vader on the front of the jersey, I'm going to go ahead and wear that to my Sunday thing. So anyway, that's the scoop today. I mean, I'm hoping that someday these desktop confessionals don't even have to exist anymore. But for now, that's what's up. Unfortunately, these people aren't doing anything illegal that I can report and file a lawsuit on, so I'm kind of stuck. But you know what? It's coming. I'm hoping it's coming. There's so much just ridiculousness that I'm trying to fight, and it's hard, you know. I'm still the help. It doesn't matter what they say. I'm still the help. They're never going to understand what I do here. And the more that I explain the complexities of things, the more they're going to ignore it and just tell me to keep it simple. You can't do that when you're a technician. You can't do that when you work IT. And you can't do that when you have to help teachers. I have to do my job the best I can, but if I'm not going to get the help, it's not going to last very long. I just warn you that. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of chill for the next 5 minutes or so until my alarm goes off. I will talk to y'all soon. If you have any questions, you know, always leave them in the comments there. I can use your condolences and support if you have any to spare. And, you know, I will see you all later. It's Friday, and I have to do this again next week, but hopefully, you know, it's only going to be 4 days of this shit, not 5. So at least there's that.